you lot. We need to have a serious chat. Because state of Call of Duty, and more importantly, state of some of you lot playing Call of Duty, has me absolutely baffled. It's like watching someone complain their house is on fire, while their one's pouring petrol on it. And I know this rant is going to ruffle some feathers, but it needs saying. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe and all that bollocks. It helps the channel grow, keeps these rants coming. Right, let's get into it. So you know what really gets me? Sheer volume of YouTube channels that constantly bash Call of Duty. Let me be clear, they're right to do so, but they do it while still playing bloody game. I mean, think about it. Every year they drop video after video talking about skill-based matchmaking, overpriced bundles, recycled content, all usual Activision greed fest nonsense. And every year they're still booting up next game. You know how ridiculous that looks from outside? It's like standing outside a restaurant screaming that food gave you food poisoning while holding a takeaway bag from the same place. And before anyone pipes up, yeah, I'm using old Black Ops 6 beta footage. No, I'm not reinstalling that dumpster fire for the sake of this video. But that's point, innit? I've got no problem with people calling out bullshit. I actually love seeing it. Hell, I've made my fair share of rants. But when someone in their comments says, if you hate it so much, just stop playing. What's response? Every single time? But I love COD. I grew up with it. I just want it to be better. Mate, you sound like someone going back to a toxic ex for 100th time, convinced this time it'll change. Spoiler alert, it won't. Not while you're still there, giving them exactly what they want. Your time, your engagement. Your play count stat that they can wave in front of investors and say, look, they're still playing. That's what blows my mind. Some of you refuse to buy bundles, refuse to buy battle passes, and good for you. But you're still in game. You're still part of population count they used to justify every scummy decision. You are literally part of problem, whether you want to admit it or not. Now let me make something crystal clear. I'm not sitting here pretending I'm some saint who's never touched COD after ranting about it. I've played my fair share, I've ranted my fair share. But there's a difference between calling something out and actively feeding monster you're supposedly fighting. And look, I get it, COD's a comfort game. It's easy to boot up, you know exactly what you're getting. And even when it's shite, there's that little hit of nostalgia that keeps you hanging around like a bad smell. But at some point you gotta ask yourself, how much bullshit are you willing to put up with for a bit of nostalgia? It's like watching someone complain about McDonald's fries tasting like cardboard, then going back next day for another large portion. Mate, fries don't change overnight. That's you, your problem. And worst part, some of you think you're being clever about it. Oh, I'm only playing for footage. Right, because Activision servers can totally tell the difference between someone hate playing for content and someone genuinely enjoying the game. Spoiler alert, they can't. You're a number on a chart, that's it. Then you've got ones who pull, I don't even buy it, my mate game shared it with me, as if that makes you some revolutionary freedom fighter. You're still a body in lobby, you're still outfilled match. You still count. Meanwhile, players who actually left, ones who stopped playing, moved on to other shooters or just found better ways to spend their time, they're ones actually doing something. You know, taking action instead of farming outrage clicks. Funny how that works. It's uncomfortable truth. Activision don't care what you say, they care what you do. You can make 500 videos, write 1,000 angry tweets, spam Reddit until your fingers bleed. None of it matters if you're still logging in and playing game. Every match you play, every hour you spend in a lobby, every second you're in that menu, that's real feedback they're looking at. You know how they know skill-based matchmaking works? Because you're still playing. You know how they know recycled maps still pulling players? Because you're still playing. You know how they know broken spawns, dogshit servers and overpriced skins won't drive players away? Because, say it with me, you're still playing. This isn't some conspiracy theory, it's data. Cold, hard, soulless data. That's all these companies care about. Not your passion, not your nostalgia, not your perfectly crafted takedown video, just numbers. And numbers say you're addicted. Numbers say you'll moan and whinge and scream on Twitter all day long, but at the end of the day, you'll come crawling back for one more match. You can't scream boycott with one hand and hold the controller with other. That's not a boycott, that's just performative outrage. If you actually want change, and I mean real change, you've got to do one thing that actually matters. Stop playing bloody game. Not for a weekend, not for a week, not until next patch. Just stop. Delete it. Move on. Play literally out else. Hell, there's a whole world of shooters out there. You're not chained to this sinking ship. But let's be honest, most of you won't do that. You'll watch this, you'll call me a hater, you'll defend your precious franchise, and by tomorrow night, you'll be right back in a sweaty 6v6 lobby, wondering why notes ever change. And that's why Activision wins, every single time. So here's where we land. If you love Call of Duty, that's fine. I get it. I've been there. But if you're going to sit there year after year, paying for the same reheated slop, complaining about taste, and then coming back for seconds, you don't get to act surprised when note changes. Because here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Activision don't ruin Call of Duty, players do. Yeah, you lot. Every time you justify playing just for content. Every time you convince yourself, I'm only playing with my mates, so it's fine. Every time you tell yourself, it's bad, but it's still better than note. That's how we got here. If you're still logging in, you are reason Activision keeps doing what they do. And that's not cause they're evil geniuses. It's cause the note players are addicted enough to keep coming back no matter how badly they get treated. And let me be crystal clear. This isn't me saying you can never enjoy Call of Duty again. This is me saying you have to choose. Do you want to be part of a crowd that actually demands better by walking away? Or do you want to keep feeding beast and pretending your angry tweets make a difference? You don't get to do both. You don't get to scream boycott and then queue for shipment 24/7 5 minutes later. Only language these companies speak is money and player counts. You want to hurt Activision? Stop playing. Full stop. You want to make a statement? Delete game, cover something else, and show your audience there's life after COD. That's what creators like Blame Truth figured out. That's what smartest players figured out. Rest of you, you're stuck in cycle, and cycle ends when you break it. And if you're pissed off right now, good. Means you're actually thinking about it. Maybe you'll double down and defend COD in comments. Maybe you'll see it light and finally uninstall. Either way, at least you'll be feeling something. And trust me, this isn't me sitting on some high horse pretending I'm better than anyone. I've made the same mistakes. I've fallen into the same traps. But at some point, you have to wake up and ask yourself, how many times am I going to pay full price for disappointment? If you want to keep conversation going or just scream at me directly, join Discord. Follow me on X. And if you're feeling extra spicy, consider joining channel membership. All links are down in the description. And if you enjoyed this little therapy session, or if you're just here to tell me I'm full of shit, do me a favour, smash that like button, hit subscribe and leave your comments and questions down below. Might just feature them in a future video. I'll see you next time, you magnificent.